Atelier Yumia, a game that's been on my radar for quite some time now. I said before that I've never played any of the Atelier games despite there being several entries spanning across the franchise like the Ryza trilogy and Sophie, with the Ryza series being the most recognizable to most people. I may not be the most familiar with this series, but as for this particular game, I do have some positive things to say alongside some of the downsides that I believe need to be addressed. So is this game really worth the hype? Does it have a chance to stand next to its big sister, the Ryza series, becoming the next big hit for the franchise? Well, let's find out. What's up guys, Tactics here with another video for you. Let's not waste any more time and dive right in. Now at the beginning of the game, we start off with the girl of the hour alongside her companions climbing to the top of a tower. This is where the game gives us our tutorial on how to perform basic actions, and then we get to see this badass cutscene. Unfortunately, our girl Yumia loses the 1v1 after this guy steps in and sends her over the edge, leading us back into the past before all of this took place. We learn that we're a part of the investigation squad in the Order of Ustella to unravel the mysteries of the destruction of a civilization due to the misuse of alchemy. As the only alchemist in the squad, Yumia is looked at with scorn and prejudice for using the forbidden arts. Many of the squad members are very vocal about her participation in the investigation and continue to remind her that she will pay a hefty price if she steps out of line. We're joined by the siblings Isla and her brother Victor to keep an eye on her as they complete their task assigned to them by the chief in charge. Now, anyone who has played the previous titles can probably immediately tell the difference in tone between this game and the Ryza series. This game seems to have a more serious, darker tone to it, where alchemy is this forbidden art that led to the destruction of an entire civilization. Anyone associated with the dark arts are seen as bad omens or people to avoid. Outcasts, basically. Yumia, wanting to prove herself to everyone that alchemy is not something to fear, is an earnest girl and does her utmost to aid the investigations. She's able to craft tools and even quell a phenomenon known as mana-bound areas. This style of storytelling seems to be taking the complete opposite direction of the previous entries, which were more slice of life and low-stake narratives. So I could see some people potentially having an issue with that. However, despite the departure from the happy-go-lucky style from its predecessor, Yumia still has shown some promise of there being an engaging story. I actually found myself rooting for Yumia, wanting to prove all the haters wrong about her and alchemy right from the jump. And with our goal now in sight and the path now set, we venture forth into this big open area where there are plenty of things to uncover and discover. Now, when I tell you I was not ready for the amount of materials scattered across the world, I really mean I was not ready. You can't walk 2 feet without there being something to pick up and use as material for your alchemy and synthesizing. You have a huge map to explore with many points of interest that lead to many discoveries like old ruins, monster habitats, and many of the campsites that you'll need along your journey. And there is so much more than that. Let me just take this time though to address the graphics and performance issue. For the Switch version, it's not too surprising that the visuals don't look the greatest. If you want the best experience in terms of visuals, there are other platforms that would be the obvious better choice. The game does have a few hiccups here and there with its performance on the Switch, when there's a lot happening on screen. I mean, once again, another platform would be the best in terms of getting better graphics and performance for your playthrough. As for the combat though, once again, Yumia switches things up with its more action-focused style of battling. Instead of the turn-based formula, the characters all have a set of skills with multiple uses that require some time to recharge after all of their uses are up. However, you soon get access to tools that allow you to chain your skills together with them to add to the damage output. Plus, all characters fight within a ring that has an inner and outer portion of it. You'll be jumping back and forth to move out of the way of monsters' area of effect attacks or you can tank attacks by blocking at the right time to reduce the amount of damage that you take. This style adds to the action-oriented gameplay unlike the previous entries. Personally, so far I'm actually enjoying the gameplay quite a bit. Even though I am more of a strategy or turn-based kind of guy, I can still appreciate a good action-based RPG in this way as well. Battles themselves are not too difficult even on hard mode, and it didn't take long to get the hang of timing my attacks in key moments. The enemies glow red most of the time before attacking, giving you the window to perfect dodge to avoid taking damage altogether. Once again, I didn't have much difficulty, so maybe I might try very hard mode just to see how different it might make the combat feel. But once you're tired of exploring the world, which the game encourages you to do for a good reason, you can set up shop back at your own little base. There you can customize your living quarters, which I think the base building can be a bit finicky. But if you don't want to fiddle around with the base, there are preset bases that you can use. The main reason for returning to base is to craft items and learn new recipes for alchemy. The alchemy system is really deep. Every item, weapon, and tool have ranks on the quality of that material, and you have to have a specific kind of material to unlock the main core of that item, which is that little ball in the middle. Then you have these outer nodes that you can use to enhance and add traits to the item you're trying to craft by using high-grade materials. The higher the resonance and mana of the item, the better quality the item will be once you finish crafting. This is a huge part of the game that I'm sure could have its own guide of crafting the best items, but I would need more time to play around with the system before I could really make any headway on that. Overall though, I think you could really spend a long time learning the ins and outs of the alchemy system. If you don't want to spend countless hours on it though, there are options to automate the process, but I doubt it could yield anything super OP unlike taking the time to really consider what sort of material you want to use yourself. So far though, the game definitely got me hooked. I've said before about the significance of having a great gameplay loop in these sorts of open world kind of games. If you want to explore the world, fight monsters, you can. If you're getting tired of exploring the world, well, you can take some time to build up your base, add some improvements to it, and even upgrade your characters as well. And then finally, you can continue with your main objective. It just seems like there's always something to do. Exploring large open worlds is something that many of us are probably used to by now if you've already experienced this type of game before. So that part of it is no issue to me. The characters so far also seem very likable. Victor is the straight and narrow type of guy in the group. His sister Isla is a carefree girl that may have a better judgment of character than her brother. And of course you have Yumia being the earnest type that simply wants to find her place in the world that is suitable to her and the pursuit of her passion in alchemy. If I had to give this game a rating so far, I'd give it a solid 7 out of 10 for taking a step away from the usual storytelling of the previous game and the engaging combat system that will undoubtedly get better as you improve your skills as an alchemist. And finally, the graphics and performance not being the greatest on the Switch, but can be remedied on other platforms. But what do you guys think? Is Atelier Yumia a game you might be interested in? Are you hooked on the franchise regardless of how different it feels from its predecessor? Let me know in the comments below. Alright, there you have it guys. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if so, be sure to hit that like button for your boy and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check out my top 10 best JRPG romance or dating sim games on the market if you haven't already. Either way, I appreciate you guys all the same, and with that, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.